Hey, what's up guys, Nils here and welcome back to another video. So as most of you probably know by now, with this update we had a buff to a set of passives that has seen no play ever since it was introduced, and that is Sorcerer. Now some people don't know, so I'm just gonna let you know exactly what the update was, or rather the buffs. So Sorcerer 1, it increases your ultimate damage by 20%. Sorcerer 2, which is now a legendary, increases your ultimate damage by 40%, and Sorcerer 3, which is now a mythical passive at a 0.37% rate, increases your ultimate damage by 80%. Now, a lot of people have messaged me, they were like, oh, I tested this, I tested that, but their tests were actually not really proper. So what I have here with me right now is these two Golden Kings that are both illusioned into a red bat. So we have two exactly identical units that are actually limitless, which is pretty much the most important thing. Like we have maxed out talents, etc., and we have the exact same talents on here as well. So the goal here is going to be to actually switch out one of those ghostlies to Sorcerer 3, and we're going to see how those units compare to each other with the Sorcerer. Now Ghostly is the second best mythical passive in the game behind Ace, so if Sorcerer 3 keeps up with Ghostly, it means that it's actually a pretty legit passive to keep. Now in case you're asking why don't we do that instead of the Blessing, the reason for that is because Ghostly already attacks way too fast, and if the unit has -4 attacks to its ultimate, it's just gonna end up getting like ultimate locked and just like stand still and do nothing. So instead we're gonna replace the Ghostly, but honestly guys, I hope we actually end up getting that Source 3, because if we don't, there is just no video. If we don't get a Sorcerer 3, like all of this is pointless so far. So let's start the spins here and let's hope that we actually get that Sorc 3. Alright guys, so after a lot of painful rerolls, we actually got this sorcerer through, and we are just gonna stop here because we have spent way too many shards and it feels like getting sorcerer 3 is impossible. So the idea here is we are gonna test out the Sorc 2, and if it comes anywhere like decently close to the ghostly, it means that Sorc 3 is gonna be better, because so the difference from Sorcerer 2 and Sorcerer 3 is actually pretty big. And now let me go ahead and pull up a picture so you guys can also see the differences for yourselves. But it is indeed very, very big. So Sorcerer 2, we have only 1.1 damage multiplier and 1.4 ultimate damage multiplier. And we have -2 attacks to ultimate. Now Sorcerer 3, everything is literally doubled up. So we have -4 ability charge, we have 0.2 damage increase, and our ability damage, that's 1.8x. So you can see that Sorcerer 3 is obviously a class ahead of Sorcerer 2, but as I said, if it tests anywhere near, it means that Sorcerer 3 is gonna be better than Ghostly. So we're gonna start here with the Ghostly just to set the bar, and then we'll see how Sorcerer fares close to the Ghostly. Alright, so our Ghostly checks out at 169E, and now let's try the source. And there you have it guys, 153. I think by now all of you realize what's going on. So Sorcerer 3 does test out to be better than Ghostly actually, which is kinda mind-blowing as well. I didn't really expect this to happen. I expected it like to be close as Sorcerer 3, but I didn't expect Sorcerer 2 to be so close to Ghostly. And guys, hear me out, this might be a long shot, but I would go as far as saying that Sorcerer 3 does actually compete with Ace. However, there is like a thing here, so like when you structure like a passive like duo, like combo with Ace, it's kinda different because you can do Ace with Ghostly, you can do Ace with Sorcerer, but if you see it from the other side, like you cannot do Sorcerer with Ghostly, for example. That is a very bad comp, so you will have to go with like something like Blessing. So Ace is a little bit more flexible in terms of like what you can run, but which I think will eventually just make it the better passive. But I think in terms of pure damage output, Sorcerer 3 might actually be up there with Ace or even better. I would love to get the Sorcerer 3. I will try to get the Sorcerer 3. Obviously, the problem is that I don't have an Ace on a true Golden King to test it, so that is the thing. But maybe in the future, guys, you know, maybe the tester applications will come out soon. So if the tester apps will come out, we can always go ahead on the test server and just check all of that stuff out. So there is that as well. And yeah, that's pretty interesting. It's actually a very interesting outcome. I didn't expect Sorcerer to be this good. Like even Sorcerer 2, it tests out really good. And in case you're telling me like I tested it myself and it didn't like test like that, I can tell you that this test that we just did here is the most accurate test for actual late game. So we have a unit here with 7 hits. Some units like Direb are 6 hits, Sensitive Slayers are 7 hits, which is pretty much what you are hatching from now on. So in terms of attacks, the unit is the same as the Red Bat, and it's also a Divine that's limitless, limit broken. So we have the extra talents, we have the extra attack speed, we have the extra ult damage. So this is the most realistic test that you could possibly have. Obviously, if I was on a test server, I would have gone for like 5 Sensitive Slayers with a bunch of passive combinations. But guys, looking at what I just saw, I highly think that Ace Sorcerer 3 is one hell of a combo. Now, one thing we also should keep in mind is that coming with update 31, God will also have a multiplier on his ultimate damage component, and maybe this is not true, guys, but I highly think it. I think God is gonna end up returning as the best passive in the game, just like when it first came out. I think it's gonna overtake Time Lord due to that ultimate damage. I don't know how strong it's gonna be, but considering it's a secret passive, it's gonna be super strong. And looking at what we just saw, I think God Ace is gonna be by far the best comp for passives in the game. So maybe eventually in the future we're gonna try to reroll the blessing for an ace. But yeah, keep an eye out for God. Next update, I think it's gonna be quite insane. But anyway, guys, that was pretty much it for this video. I hope you found it helpful and answered some of your questions that you might have had, because I assume a lot of people just want to know what's up. But yeah, we put a little bit of work into this video, so make sure you guys like and subscribe down below, as it does help me out a lot. And I will see you guys all on the next one. Take care.